Zach's actually a truck driver, also a mixed martial arts, got into another form using a little weaponry, and basically today he's coming in with low back issues, and we're going to be working on a gluteal tendonitis that's associated with postural distortion with the hip flexors and also all the driving. So it's created, you can even see a little bit of more of a curvature in the kyphosis to the back. That creates instability in the lumbar and the cervical because of the lack of mobility. So today we're going to use an extracorporeal shockwave. I really like the Stores Medical D-Actor 100 because you can control the acoustic wave better. I'm going to use a 15 millimeter head on it, and we're going to break up adhesions to get these fibrous tissue more neurovascular healthy. I'm going to come in and work gluteal tendonitis, so I work the glutes using the shockwave again to create neurovascularization to get this tissue healthy. I'm going to use a technique called active release, and then I'm going to use it to actually lengthen the glute medius. I'm going to do another technique called fascial distortion model to break up all these adhesions, and basically you find what they call trigger bands, which I feel he has, and we're going to run up fixing the trigger bands. I'm also going to be flipping over Zach, and we're going to work the pec so that we can actually start to get better mobility in the thoracic spine by freeing up the shoulders that are going. Zach just asked me a really good question. He said that, he used to have really a better abdomen showing since he's a competitor, and he said it feels like his pelvis has changed, and you called it. So since he feels his body, he's got a pelvis that's more anterior. You can even see it going this way, which now he's not getting the same abdominal feel in the front because his pelvis is anteriorly rotated. So we're going to be releasing the hip flexors. Also, when people have this, I'm going to be working on all of his ankles to get the ankle mobility going so that we make sure that he's a driver, and I know that he's using his feet quite often in control, so we're going to have to work in creating better tissue extensibility and then joint mobility. I usually use shockwave, fascial distortion, active release. I do a technique on the ankle called fascial distortion model to fix what they call a tectonic fixation. So we'll be doing that. And then I usually do a chiropractic manipulation to move specifically talus, so we keep everything mobile. And after we do a little work, we'll see how he feels.
You want to take off the socks?
Yeah, we'll take those off and we'll get working. Thank you guys, and appreciate you. So right now, what I want to do is we're going to start from the ground up, since usually what we're dealing with is kinetic energy, and every time we step it's going to move up. So let's follow that same pattern and helping our friend Zach. And so I'm going to start off using enough gel so that the acoustic wave can penetrate in. Usually what happens here is our Achilles does not have the same blood flow, so it's usually something that's a little harder to fix without having the proper equipment. So we're going to use shockwave right now to free up some of the fibrous tissue that's catching, since they don't have the same circulatory in the Achilles tendon. Put that down for a second, and now I want to do a quick connective tissue work. Okay, I could already feel that band coming over. So in a technique called fascial distortion model, the connective tissue distorts 7 different ways. I just found a trigger band, so it's right here. And now I'm going to use my hand, and I'm going to follow that band. Zach, you feel that, don't you? And it feels right now underneath my thumb like I'm closing a Ziploc bag. Right there. I can feel it right there. Now I'm going to go all the way up to close that connective tissue trigger band, where the connective tissue is tearing through the connective tissue in a linear pattern. Good. Now we'll find if we have it on this side. Yep, right there. I start at the beginning. Got it. Right there, yep. Breathe. I want you to get a lot of oxygen now since we're trying to free the connective tissue. There it is right there. Breathe, 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 breathe. Got it. You can see how painful he's trying to move a little away. He's got it. Good. All right. Now we did a little active. Now we're going to do a little active release. This is a little bit of a different technique. So on that one, can you hand me a paper towel? So here what I need to do is actually do not want the tissue to glide. Alright. So let's just come in. And then we're going to bring that foot down. Good. And we're going to hold here. So Zach, I just want you to hold. Breathe with your belly. Let's get that oxygen right now. We're trying to lengthen a muscle that has been short. Get that blood flow with that breathing. Good. Good. Right there. You relax. Good. Some people call this technique like a pin and stretch. Active release is a little bit more detailed. Right there. We try to get more specific than just a pin and stretch. Pin and stretch works quite well as well if you're not certified in active release. Right there. Beautiful. So now he's kicking, and since he's kicking in his sport, sometimes the connective tissue can distort in a spiral way. So jumping too. So now I'm just going to take and free up that connective tissue as if it's a spiral distortion one way. And that's actually what it's called, is a spiral distortion within this technique, the fascial distortion model. Good. Wow, big difference. Good. So now I'm going to repeat that same thing on this side here, and we'll get started. So you want the abs to get more visible again, like it used to be?
I had abs, but I know that it's because of my posture. I can't see it.
You could feel
I'm
it
not
too.
so fat. I know that my body, but not so fat.
No. What's happening is I could see, remember we were talking about it, we had that anterior. Earlier, that's why I was using the Shockwave, not what you were feeling. I was breaking up the scar tissue here. Then I did a technique, which is actually where I compress the muscle and then we stretch it. So we're freeing up this. You have to do more stretches to the iliopsoas muscles. So I remember showing it, I'll teach it after, and then that's going to start getting this lengthened. As for here, remember we're doing a lot of sitting right now too. So we're creating more scar tissue. So we literally don't have that same healthiness into here. I did today something that I think is going to help a lot. I used the Shockwave all over the rectus abdominis, oblique, and I tried to get a little over here. You can see a little bit of the redness. So now what we've done is we've created more vascularization to this area. Now what I want from you is mobility. So even coming in, and we're going to start working, stretching. Good. And then good. So you probably feel less pull right now, right, from what we did earlier. So this is actually catching, right? So now that this is catching, we're not able to get that same compression to make the abs show. Abs is not working abdominal. Abs is working core. What is the core? It's like the core of the apple. It's the lumbo, pelvic, hip complex. So that's the center, core. That's what people don't realize. You're getting a lot of the kicking, but probably will want to do a little bit more squats. Are you doing any body weight squatting?
Yeah.
Good. Keep that up. Make sure it's the right motion, the right pelvic tilt. And then this area, you can see from your feet that your feet turn out.
Yeah, I know.
So that's happening because your pelvis is turning in. And that's when we were breaking up, your hips are not getting actually mill position. I test it, they're just getting adhesions. But your glutes, that glute tendonitis you came in today, is coming because this is pulling. And then that glute is not connected to the brain. So as you're doing your kickboxing and everything and standing on one foot, that has to stabilize. Glute medius's job is to stabilize that hip from coming out. So because you have hip flexors that are so tight, the brain has shut down the connection to the muscle. So now when you actually have to use it, it's a bad connection. So when it's a bad connection, it creates more contractions. Make sense? So I need us to stretch this area, and then here we need to do gluteal work. I usually tell people you can start by just putting a band around here and then do your body weight squats. So start off, no crawling, just start with the band above.
Yeah.
When I do this, it forces the hips out. So now pulling out, now when you go and you bring your hips down, you're going to engage glute medius more because the hips are going to be forced out by putting the band above the knees, all right? And then I want you just doing some body weight squats to activate this. But first, you have to stretch the psoas. Do you know how?
So
That's the one where you probably do and don't even realize it. Keeping the foot braced. You want to keep your torso straight, and it's not going like this. It's literally like that. You heard my ankle mobile. And then it's keeping straight. Don't let the knee hit the ground because then you're stretching quads more, and then you're keeping everything straight. Good. And then actually, proper way to do it is keep everything straight, and then taking your arms, reaching up above, and then letting all of the fascia, connective tissue stretch. So let's see it. See that one? Good. All right. So let's reset. So what we do is start like that. 1 foot forward, 1 foot back. Good. Now, from this position, keep your torso like that. Now, get on the toe. Once you're on your toe, you're bringing the knee down. There it is. There you go. Good. You feel that stretch coming in through here? Might have to put the foot a little further back. There. Now you got it. And then that foot would go a little further forward so that it's linear. Good. Now get that torso up. Good. Bring both these arms up over your head. Try to bring the hands interlock the other way, like this. Good. Torso straight. Head straight. Breathe. Good. See that shaking? Good. Relax. That is what I would like to stretch all of it, especially since you're doing all this martial arts. You're doing a lot of full, plus now you're a professional driver.
a lot of these kicks.
Yeah, you mean hear it clicking. Yeah, so that's why glutes. So you're requiring to have so much hip mobility. So we have to work also, I think I taught you that, in the groin. I think the big deal, were you doing the foam rolling in here?
Yeah, foam roll.
Keep doing this, and then after you foam roll, get into the old butterfly. But when we get in a butterfly, got something in my back pocket? Yeah, my phone. When we get in the butterfly, we want to try to bring our heel as close to our butt, and then we just go in, but no bouncing. It's always just in. I know when I did Taekwondo, I always bounced as a kid, and it's not good. And then we just stretch to open. And then actually, another way to do that after too is kind of the frog, where you're just going to come in all the way over and get low, 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 and low. Good. And then from here, I would bring my butt back towards the heels, and I'm feeling in the front all of that ball and socket joint, the femoral and the acetabular. I feel that stretch internal as I bring it back. And then once you get to your end, then bring the head and just try to breathe. When you breathe out, you lower your body a little more. Good. That, after you foam roll, I want you opening everything, because your positions are requiring so much torque twist that you're building all these adhesions internally too, and that's why the feet are now turning out. So it's okay. And then
it's because of my pelvic. I know that.
You can feel it too, because you know your body.
It's
So
not supposed to.
how do you feel right now after that therapy?
I feel good.
Pretty good? Pretty mobile, huh?
Very
Let's try doing a squat. Good. Good. Actually, a lot better, because this time at least it was mostly the left foot that had to totally turn off instead of staying straight. So before, both your feet had to do this. You're also going lower. Good.
Yeah,
This is
feet are moving.
Yeah, that's it.
It wants to do this.
Exactly. Your pelvis is internally coming in because it compensates. So it's doing better than it was. So keep trying to keep it straight. And as you keep going lower, you're freeing up some of the connective tissue that's catching. Because
So I have to work on this.
yeah, just like that, but more. So we want to try to keep our body erect as possible. Head there, butt back first, and then straight down if you can. There you go. There you go. Good. So that tells us a lot. So the reality is we have to work on the mobility, because as this is the objective. Remember, we keep our feet. I should have my shoes off, but how you have the arms up, you want to keep the arms so they're completely straight. And then I want to move this in front. We're going to bring the butt back, and then as we bring the butt back, looking forward, we keep everything straight, like so. It's a lot better than it was, my friend. But what I have to work on now, we have to break up more of the abdomen, because I felt that, and it's all sticking in here. I'm going to teach you something right now. I want you to just come in. You feel where the end of the ribs are right there, the thoracic cavity. Come in like so, and then on one side, just free up. So you see how I go under? Take this hand, and then just right there. I feel a little adhesion. Rub. So I'll do it for you. So you want to feel, see. So you see how I'm able to get under? I can't even get under yours because of the adhesions. So relax, put this arm over, relax the arm. I'm going to just do it for you. Keep the head like so. There it is. So there's the end of the ribs. So I'm going to go in. Right there. Breathe. Good. Then I'm going to come in. Good. So when we're not doing enough belly breathing, we're doing all this driving, we're creating all this connective tissue that's not even allowing our diaphragm to smoothly come and free up from the thoracic cavity. Get up a little. There we go. Makes it easier. When you bend forward like that, that's what your body right there wants to do. I can't even get under as well. Good. Right there. Good. I can feel it. Up, right side, kicking. So what happens here is your pelvis is getting more work here from the quadratus lumborum, and I could feel the attachments. Right there. Good. Now try to see if you can do that a little bit. Oh, you can a little bit better now. See how you're getting under? Just try to work getting under the thoracic. See how I take my fingers? Just do that. Good. Now after you do that, what I want you to do is take both arms, bring them up all the way, and then we're going to do the opposite maneuver that's happening. Let's just stretch all the way back and stretch that connective tissue that we just freed up. Good. Now, once you come back, what I want you to do now is belly, arm. Let's get the belly down. Since we're trying to free that diaphragm, keep your belly out. Good. And then down. Another time. Keep the head. There we go. Belly. And very important. We forget breathing is so crucial right now. This actually stops cortisol by engaging the parasympathetic. When we breathe out, go ahead and exhale a little longer. Breathe in, and breathe out. Keep breathing out, keep breathing out. Good, now breathe in. So when he goes a little bit longer, it's like a biohack to get the parasympathetics to engage instead of your fight or flight sympathetic. So that's why I really also like the belly breathing, because when we do this, we're relaxing all these chest muscles too. We're relaxing all of these accessories, and now this is going to get to relax. And we're getting better digestion, because as you know, sitting everywhere, we're compressing. 95% of our feel-good hormone, serotonin, is produced in the abdomen. So if we don't have good gastric mobility, then we're going to have bad digestion all along, So I want you to just work on gastric mobility here, so that when you're digesting all your nutrients and doing everything, you're going to get the absorption, and you're going to get better serotonin production by getting all of the flow of oxygen. All right? Beautiful. That was great, guys. How do you feel?
Amazing.
There it is. How many people you seen before me?
A lot of people.
Yeah. Anybody do as good?
No.
I love it. There we go. All right. So I think that was really good, man. I think we really got to see how the body adapts and what you have to do at home too. You see how you're still grabbing right here, right?
Yeah,
Tight. All right, so this is the levator scapula. So let's actually do a quick little session. I didn't do that for you. What happens, guys, is the main issue that he's having on this upper part, we call it an upper cross syndrome, where the pec is pulling forward, right? When this pec is pulling forward, it's taking the shoulder blade and it's moving it up and out. Now that that happens, this particular muscle, levator, for scapula, connects over here. That's pulling down. So let me work on this, so that he doesn't get headaches. So a lot of the times people having headaches is coming from this postural. Yeah, you can hear it right there. And I think this is also why your first ribs keep coming out of alignment so much, is that scar tissue here is pulling. Okay. Wow, this is tighter. I saw you were doing swords. I think the swords, you have to keep your arms really close, like when you're driving, but then you're moving them in a really quick maneuver. Good. All right, do me a favor, shrug that shoulder. Good, shrug that one. Oh, well, big difference I could see. This one wants to lift for you. Much faster.
This one is tighter.
Yeah, let me go on this side now too. That way we got symmetry.
I will go to gym one time, it's gonna get tight again.
Well, that's why what's happening, you're 100% right. This tightness is coming from the chest. So, and everything we're doing, driving, sports, we're creating that upper cross. So now we have to neurologically connect the specific muscles. Those are the rhomboids right here, feel that? Then that's the middle trap, and then that's the upper lats. These are all the muscles that are stabilizing the shoulder blade. So I'm going to take this machine and work on all of the attachments coming down into that shoulder blade. And then into there. And we're going to come up. Yeah, right there. Good. Now, do me a favor, shrug that shoulder, shrug that shoulder. How's that feeling? Still feeling like you want to grab that side? Yeah, do some punch.
Now my hands are more
Now the hand feel heavy.
light.
Yeah,
More light. I mean, not like so.
Now you can move quick. Oh,
Yeah.
let me see that. Oh yeah. Okay, you can move fast now. Beautiful. I love it. Let me wipe that off for you. All right, guys. Thank you, everybody.